Hey guys, it's Avalon before the video. Where's the green screen, you're wondering? Where's the skit? I don't have one. Kill me if you want. Because of a range of technical difficulties, I am not allowed to do something such as make a skit. But don't worry, I come bearing gifts. And by gifts, I mean I only ever crap on people, so I thought I would actually give a list of people that I actually recommend listening to for once. And it's going to be really short. So I actually just realized that one of the people that I'm going to recommend is currently live right now. So that's actually kind of crazy. One person's videos that I've actually been watching for quite a bit and I still recommend is Drama Queen. I love her videos. They're so entertaining. They're fun, but they also have a point. She's fun in ways I can't be. Anyways, and I gotta be honest, this entire video actually wouldn't exist at all without Rayleigh Elena. Let's hope that's how you say that. I haven't watched too many of her videos, but her Lewis one is what inspired this entire video. While I talk about this stuff all the time, just in general in my life, literally like every day, it's actually really obnoxious. This video itself wouldn't exist without her. So those two people, go watch. And then two other creators that I recommend that aren't quite on topic, but are also on topic. If you know, you know, if you get it, you get it. Are Artlist. I absolutely adore their videos and I watch them all the time, every day, and they're actually live right now. That's really weird to me, but anyway. And then Etymology Nerd. Artlust talks about art, obviously, and everything that pertains to that. Etymology Nerd talks about language and everything that pertains to that, and that actually has everything to do with what I'm talking about, even if it doesn't seem like it. You'd get it if you watched their videos. So anyways, I hope this makes up for the fact that there's no skit, and if it doesn't, too bad, because I just gave you some of the God's greatest recommendations for distractions that you don't need, but also you do need it because their content is very valuable to the world. Anyway, okay, thank you, bye. Love you all. God. Hey guys, welcome to Purgatory. This video has been a long time coming, but I couldn't find the exact words I wanted, and to be honest, I still haven't quite, but that's always been an issue of mine. I don't want to start videos if I'm not 100% educated on the topic, and I had to come to the very difficult realization that every single person needs to have the realization of, is that you will never be 100% educated in anything, and you have to be okay with that. I think the struggle with that comes from the struggle to be wrong and have to be educated and learn. But again, none of us will 100% know anything, ever, at all. One thing that every human has in common with each other is that none of us will know 100% about anything, and we will always change constantly. Whether we learn, that's up for debate. But we will always change. And that's why when we try to fight against it, we encounter a lot of issues. There is one singular fundamental issue that every single drama call-out channel has, every single time without fail. And it may seem obvious, but I absolutely assure you that it's not as simple as the surface may seem. So if you catch yourself thinking, well, yeah, obviously, stick with me. And the problem isn't just with them. It's with us. How are we, the viewers, making drama and call-out channels worse? This isn't anywhere close to only being about content creators. This is about every single person watching this video and every single person in this world. We have a problem as a population, and it's preventing us from making any progress and making absolute sure that we continue to regress. While this video is mostly inspired by certain people, targeted callouts is not the point here, and every drama and callout channel has this problem. Any slip-ups are just that. Complete slip-up accidents. If anyone is in the thumbnail, it's simply because they fit the example that I'm talking about. And if any of them happen to watch this video, I'd be happy for them to stay and listen and hopefully maybe learn. Drama call-out channels are extremely popular now. And yeah, they always have been, but with the rise of cancel culture has come the rise of this content. And we'll go into cancel culture and what it really means later on. At first glance, first thought, that seems really good. I mean, people are making their livelihood on making sure that we do not allow harmful behavior or harmful people to exist in our spaces and continue to hurt others. On the other hand, people are making their livelihood making sure, while this may seem to be a good thing, it's actually very dangerous and a very likely road for error. Making your livelihood off of judging others, off of saying, this person bad, is questionable and can make you do things like needing money to pay bills, so you need to go find someone to shit on, to make a video to get money to eat. That means your intent doesn't come from a wand for hopeful change, but for a roof over your head and food in your stomach. That also means that you can rush content out with a lack of research, out of pure desperation. Making empathy what gives you money will always be dangerous and something that you will need to continuously question yourself on in order to stay ethical. Also, this mindset leads to extremely black and white thinking of this person's hurting people, so this person's bad, so throw them away, as if we haven't all hurt people before, completely separating them from the rest of humanity when they're just like us and we're just like them. Giving up on people doing wrong encourages wrong. Giving up on people doing wrong is self-serving. Giving up on people doing wrong is ignorant, purposeful or no. The biggest problem with this kind of content, with the people making this kind of content, is the lack of understanding of purpose. What is the goal of our content? What specifically are we looking to do with this? To have fun? To bully? To change certain people's minds? Why do you want to change their minds? Why are you right and they're wrong? What do you want? What is your point here? Because if the answer is as vague as something like, to make the world a better place, you don't actually know. And if your answer is something like, to make them realize what they've done and stop, you don't actually understand your own answer. Making the world a better place is a cop-out. If you don't have a goal specific to every single piece of content that you make and put out, you are not creating the best that you can, and you will have ample room for mistakes. Right-wingers who voted for Trump also voted for him because they wanted to make the world a better place. I created this video in particular with the specific goal of reaching people who used to think like I did, and to try to do my best to convince them to switch over to my current thinking, to give them the realization that I had, in order to incite true, helpful change in the way that we go about problem solving and communicating with others, in order to make the world a better place. To make them realize what they've done and stop isn't thinking enough. It's still too vague. It's too confused, too surface level. Why do you want to make them realize what they've done is wrong? What is it that they've done? Why is it wrong? What is your goal in making them realize it? If the goal is to make them change, why do they need to change? Are you going about it in the best possible way to get them to understand? Or are we being self-serving and using language because it makes us feel good, rather than to help them understand our point? What will come of them stopping? And a really big question, do you really want them to simply just stop? Or to understand why they should stop and agree, so that they don't do it again and can pass on that knowledge to others? And then when it does come to people apologizing and moving on, people immediately leave at the first sight of human failure and being faced with the moment of their ignorance and harm that they need to change to fix, something that every single one of us do. But possibly even crazier, at the sight of another incident like this, everyone is saying, didn't you already apologize for something recently? Didn't this just happen? Clearly you're not actually changing and you're just apologizing to get us to move on. So you're a bad person, I'm leaving. So people either completely refuse acceptance of other humans' wrongdoings or mistakes to learn and grow from, often deciding to cancel them, aka throwing them away where they will continue to hurt others, but we don't have to see it, or wanting them basically dead and genuinely isolated. Or they give them one singular chance to change and grow, and at the next sight of wrong, they're out, which means you either don't know how change works or you don't care. If you're doing something as big as deciding to try and change behaviors and beliefs that you've had for who knows how long, after being called out in one instance, one time in your life, time and patience is not a want, it is an absolute must. If someone completely changes after one singular instance of wrongdoing and being called out, be suspicious. People don't change that fast. And not because of any insult to human beings and being like, people just don't change, people never listen. But because change takes a lot of time. True change, not just going along with what someone's saying, but actual acceptance and understanding and trying to learn how to change. It takes a long time because it's not as easy as everyone says that it is. When I say it's not that hard, it's really simple, I mean the choice to change. And I only say it in circumstances such as choosing not to be racist, choosing not to be misogynistic, these things. That's not hard to me, and that's pretty easy, but to be honest, it probably isn't for a lot of people. I guess what I need to do is just change my verbiage, change my wording to get closer to what it is I'm trying to say. Because while that is what I have been saying, maybe it's not the best way to go about it. Also, depending on the situation, the person might just be addressing their previous wrongdoings, which I actually think is a great idea. You don't have to do it. I don't think it makes you a bad person not to do it. But to look over at your content and to think, oh, I was misinformed on this. Oh, I spread misinformation on this. And deciding to, like, one by one, go back and address the wrong things that you did in those videos is actually really cool. Because you, whether accidental or not, spread misinformation, spread possible harm. So individually going back and addressing each individual problem, actually, I think, makes you a pretty good person. Again, you're not bad if you don't do it, in my opinion, but it's still a pretty good thing to do. Either way, the majority of people, likely including you, aren't kind when it comes to growth and change, despite demanding it. If you want to help incite change, why are you being self-serving? What is more important to you? The freedom to use language that you like, or language that you know will make people more likely to listen to you? Genuine question. Genuinely ask yourself this and answer honestly. And then ask yourself if you're okay and happy with that, and if you're achieving what you're working for. Now, cancel culture and its tendency to go directly against the original point of it. Working to get people canceled and thrown away, rather than to get them and everyone else who agrees with them to realize your point of their actions' harm and to change because of it. No one can actually change if they don't understand why what they were doing originally was wrong, and why they were doing so to begin with. All you're doing is getting people to say the certain words that you want in order to spare themselves of harassment, rather than actually understanding their actions' harm and wanting to change for the better of themselves and others. But you yourself have said that you condone harassment at times. Are you being a hypocrite here? Have you changed your mind? I don't think that harassment should be used. Most of the time. Let's break it down. What has been the entire point of this video? Change and working for it in ourselves and others. To put aside our want for making fun and bullying in order to get people to understand their wrongs and to want to change. What happens when those people are Nazis? Or pedophiles? Do we think that we're going to be able to change their minds? To help them realize what they're doing is wrong? Probably not. Though, after writing the script and speaking with a friend, I have changed my mind a bit. Originally, rather than saying probably not, I was going to say no. Because how do you change someone's mind if they're a literal Nazi or pedophile? You probably can't. But that doesn't mean that no one has changed. And shouldn't it be our duty to try to get them to do so? Because yeah, it's a ridiculous situation and we shouldn't have to do this to begin with. But the world isn't fair, but we're trying to make it be. Is it really appropriate for us to decide to just give up on people because they are radically terrible? Have we tried at all to actually change them? Have they ever been exposed to people actually trying to help them change rather than cancel culture? Probably not. I don't have an answer for this, by the way. So if you're looking for an answer, I'm sorry, because this is more of a conversation, though this whole video really is. While I have certain stances on certain situations, this is not one in which I have a firm stance, even though I lean. Here is the perfect way to understand which path to take depending on your intentions. Change comes from understanding. No one will change. You will not change if the people who disagree are accusatory, attacking, looking to find a weak point and strike at it. Change happens when you meet the person you're disagreeing with where they're at. But it's not fair. Why should we have to walk on eggshells and tiptoe around while they get to freely run around and happily say the worst, most wild things? You're right. It's not fair. But once again, what is more important to you? Your current feelings or their possible change? Again, genuine question. The issue is when people are trying to communicate to you why this is hurting people and you're just disagreeing and arguing rather than listening. Canceling, shunning, on the other hand, comes from shame. As we've established, no one will listen to you if you are attacking them, being accusatory, rising up as a collective to shame. Because no one learns anything from shame, except for trauma and fear, both of which never lead to anything good, and most of the time actually lead to even worse lashing out. Think about it. You're being shamed by what feels like everyone in the world. You're not going to care about their feelings? And after they just hurt yours, who do they think that they are? People who saw a problem and went about it in the wrong way because they didn't understand their intent or goal in the first place. Shame leads to shunning and running away. This can be useful in situations such as dealing with Nazis or pedophiles, dealing with someone that you need to leave quickly to prevent further harm. If you want to incite change, you meet them where they're at. If you want them to run off, you shame. No one will truly learn from shame, and no one will run off because you met them where they're at. I wasn't always the way that I am now. In fact, I was the exact opposite. The exact person that I talk down about in some way today. I used to be a pro shipper who didn't understand the impact of my choices and enjoyment. I didn't even understand why my enjoyment in itself was harmful or dangerous. Not just to others, but especially to myself. I didn't grow up the best, and I didn't really have any input to the real world other than Facebook and fanfiction that I found when I was 8. Around the exact same time I discovered porn. And the porn that I saw was wildly horrific. I don't know if worse things used to be more loud back then or if I'm traumatized and making it up, but I'm pretty sure it was worse than it is now. And when porn becomes such a part of your life that you become obsessed, Even mild ones, you don't have to realize it for it to be a thing. You look for wilder and wilder, crazier and crazier, worse and worse things. You get bored. You look for intensity. I ended up onto BDSM, and that is where everything spiraled out of control. That, alongside of reading fanfiction that was cishet, I only learned male dominance and female submission in all parts of life. Eventually, I ended up getting into things like dark romance, abuse, and just other horrible things we don't have to talk about. I even argued a few times with people as a youngin' about how pro-shipping isn't bad and they're the crazy one.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
And it wasn't until I was traumatized in my real physical life as a consequence from my enjoyment of these things that I realized that these aren't things to joke about, much less enjoy. Very recently, in the past 6 months or so, I came across a video that changed my life forever. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the video, I don't remember the creator, I don't remember what the video is about. What I learned wasn't even the point of the video, but a related comment. I don't even remember what they said either, but I do remember what I learned. In changing this channel around to create this kind of content, I never asked myself the questions that I'm asking you to. I knew that my intent was to speak about things that are bad and be like, these things are bad, don't be like this. But I never asked myself these questions. And that led to this realization of mine hitting me very hard. The lesson that I learned was, in your path to change the world, to speak out on these things, to try and make things better, who are you focusing on? Because if inciting change is your goal, why are you acting in ways that are inherently about you and how you feel, rather than what you think or know will make others more likely to listen to you? And that made me question, am I helping others for their better? Or am I helping myself to make myself feel better? This realization and call out was so supremely world-shaking that I just froze. In life, I literally just stopped. Couldn't do or think about anything but that one thing. I gave my life from a very young age to dedicate to helping people, and all of this time I've been doing it wrong and serving myself. And I am tremendously grateful for this realization, but it hurt, and it made me doubt every single part of myself. Basically, it made me supremely uncomfortable, and a big part of cancel culture is uncomfortability. We cannot stand to be uncomfortable, and we all encourage others to do the exact opposite. Don't like their opinion or their stance? Block them. They disagree with you? Block them. You're white and a person of color is trying to explain to you how your behavior might be racist? Block them, ignore them, defend yourself. Someone saying that you might have some kind of harmful bias or behavior? Leave. Block them. Because you don't need that kind of toxic negativity in your life, and you shouldn't have to change for anyone. You're hearing that your beliefs might be worsening the state of the world? Leave, block, defend, because they just don't get it. And they need help, not you, because you're the right one. Stay comfortable by all means necessary, and never leave your bubble. Because being uncomfortable is scary. But the only way that I've ever gotten anywhere in my growth as a person was when confronted with something that made me uncomfortable, to sit in the discomfort and not say a word, to just sit in it, feel it, and let myself stew in the information that I've been given. And for however long it took, to think every day or so about why it made me uncomfortable. And then taking those reasons and comparing it to the information that I've been given. That is how I learned that I have, and how to work on, my internalized bigotry. That is how I learned how to change, and quickly. Made me more comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because uncomfortability is so uncomfortable because it's foreign. When you're used to dealing with it, it's not that scary anymore. I've seen a lot of people say things like, you don't need a reason to block people. If you don't like someone, you just don't like them, you don't need to think about it, and you can just block them. Even people that I agree with and that I follow. And I don't just follow anyone. But you should absolutely be asking yourself why you want to literally block someone. Because yeah, it seems very small now in our internet-driven society. But think about if it was like in real life. Because while it is different, it's also very similar. Yeah, I think you should ask yourself why it is you completely never want to see that person IRL again. I think you need to ask yourself why you're blocking someone online and you never want to see them again. Being so obsessed with being comfortable that you block others whose opinions differ from yours is extremely dangerous and actually what leads to alt-right thinking. But this is an entire other video that I will hopefully be going into. If you're a content creator like the ones I have been talking about, and your argument is that you're just trying to make ends meet, to keep on going day to day, what about the people that you were wrong about? that you jumped the gun about, that you didn't think to care enough about, because they're just bad people. Some people that were featured in call-out or drama videos are still affected to this day. Some creators, a lot of creators, were wrong about the people that they were talking about, and even if they apologize, the people who saw the video likely aren't going to see the apology. And they continue to harass the victims of the creator's wrongdoings. While you get to move on, they stay affected. The only thing you can do in that situation is to understand why you were wrong, change, and explain to others to help them to understand why you were wrong if they agreed with you previously. But if it keeps happening, that is even more people that you are doing the opposite of your intent to. If your goal is to make the world a better place, but you are wrong and the people that you wrongfully accused of terrible wrongdoings are still being affected to this day by those things, you are just continuing the wheel of harm and cancel culture. It is very easy when you make content like this to feel a sense of superiority and importance. We put so much weight on our shoulders and make ourselves feel responsible, but also above it all. People quickly become haughty and not only speak, but act different, as if we know better than everybody else and that we're the best person for this job, or even that our words carry more weight than others. And look, I won't say that you maybe aren't more intelligent than other people in certain areas, but again, language and behavior matters. And you have to choose between running people off or trying to help them change. And what kind of person does it make you? Your answer. The thing is, I'm not against making fun of or poking at people. Take one look at my channel. I've done it several times. But in those videos, I also talk about how those people's behaviors are harmful and how that's why I'm making fun of them. Because it's not about people's looks or stupid shit like that, though I am sure that I've said stupid shit like that. It's making fun of the harmful things that they're doing or saying. It's not meaningless. But you can say that about anybody. A lot of the time, these content creators insult because they're talking about shitty people, failing to think about their intent in the first place, once again. If you're making a video about harmful behavior and the entire time you're saying insults against them, calling them names, being lighthearted and jokey, what was the point in creating the video in the first place? If you know it's either going to just reach people who already agree with you or that don't. Because then it seems that your point was just one of two things. To make fun of these people with others that already agree and likely just making it worse and basically just to bully, or to spread awareness and explain why these things are bad while having a little bit of lighthearted fun to make it more palatable for others to listen to. Because if it's the latter, then we go back to that one question. Are we using language that makes us feel good or that we know will help the other opposing side to listen to us? Have fun. Be silly. But balance it with seriousness, maturity, and care. And we all know that we deal with these things better when humor is mixed in. But that doesn't mean that you have to spend the entire time being goofy. You're teaching levity in serious situations. It's self-serving behavior, especially the insults. Is it just feel-good language for ourselves or shameful words to chase people off? Which, as we've discussed, should sometimes be used when it comes to extreme people who have shown no sign of wanting to change and continue to perpetuate harm. This isn't content to be goofy in and have fun with. This is about people's lives and the possibility of change. What is most important to you? And to close this video, I only have one more thing left to say, and it is something that every single one of us need to remember. Non-bigotry is decency. It is the standard. If it is not, and you are more enlightened than others in these things, then it is your job to help them to reach the level that you are. Not to shame them for not already being there, and acting better than them for knowing before they did. But with that, I think this video is done. I think I got my point across. I don't know that there's anything else that I really could have said without going on much longer tangents. Again, this isn't just about content creators, but about every single one of us watching this. And also, especially since all of us create content ourselves. Existing on the internet is creating content. And the point of content is that it affects people, and we affect people in real life as well. So really, everyone just needs to hear this. What you do with this information is up to you and your choice, free world and all that. But I hope I was able to change some minds, because I know how it was. And it wasn't fun. That's it. Oh my goodness. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. And if you did, make sure to comment so that I know that you made it this far. The smiling emoji, you know what? I've never done that before. The smiling emoji, like a good one. Not just like this one, but like a good one, like this one. Aww. And then the heart emoji. Let's spread good for once. Jesus. If you like this video, smash that like button. Caress the like button and smooch the like button passionately with fire. Why have we decided that fire is what passion is like? Anyways, if you disliked the video and you thought that everything I said was so stupid and that I'm acting just like these people I'm talking about, press the like button. Because unfortunately for you, but not for me, dislike button doesn't exist, never has actually, never will. But do remember to be a good person and not a bad one, obviously. Because it is the one rule of this kingdom, the one law of this kingdom. It's not that hard. He wants to leave. Sorry, he has to go. And also remember that I won't see you, but you'll see me next time. Of course, because again, that's how videos work. Sorry you couldn't see him, but I'm not about to keep him when he doesn't want to be here. But here's a video to make up for it. It's really cute, isn't it? Don't know what I picked. Anyways. Bye. I'm tired. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Can you see that over there? If not, I'm not gonna go try and fix it. I directly cover it. Nice. What does that mean? You can't see a single one of them? I hate my life. I hate my life. Just realized you can't see anything I put back there. I give up on everything. And you don't even know what it looked like before because the candles went out. I give up. I give up. There's no way. Dude, I just realized this actually helps if I aim it at the fan. It actually works to cool it down. That's crazy. Anyway, welcome to Arizona. I'm not gonna get this video done. I hate my life. I'm doing this tomorrow. I did all that for no reason. And if you're wondering why my light's down here, it's because it broke. Ugh!